So I took my daughters to a dance competition a little while ago, and as can often happen with me, I think about all this other stuff. I did watch the dance, but yeah, I thought a lot of other stuff. And the previous dance that I went to, I also thought a lot of stuff, and I wrote a story to that, which is called Men's Art Group. I might put that in the description, and you can see that one too if you would like. Anyway, this one's called Dragon Dance. And this is how it goes. I'm going to go in 10-minute brackets. So here we go. Dragon Dance. At the Under-12s Regional Dance Championships, there are dragons in the foyer. They mix among the crowd, but they definitely stand out. They have a lot of eye makeup on, hair bigger than their heads, and weathered skin. Their dresses are scaled with demure sparkle, their claws polished to the brightest of reds. The skin on the back of their heels is thin and rubs against shoes that are worn by much younger women. When you get inside the stadium, they remain scattered throughout the audience. Like sparsely positioned rhinestones, they glimmer in the dark. They position themselves as such because they come from all the surrounding catchments to be at this prestigious event. All the catchments have at least one. Often they have a vested interest in one or two of the schools, but sometimes they have no interest at all. They simply turn up unannounced and in the quiet, with one concern on their reptilian brain, and that is to see if the art is still being practiced properly. Sometimes it's hard to describe exactly why they're here, but it's unmistakable. They could all be judges if needed. They could all be judges if needed. They could all be judges if needed, because they all have the eye. The thick eyeliner is inconsequential, really, because what they all observe is exactly the same. What they see might be common to all of them, but it is not necessarily common. It remains indescribable. If you are using words, you might describe it as quality, expression, perfection, poise, emotion, creation. It's hard to describe what it is, but it's unmistakable when you see it. It exists across genres, ages and categories. It could be Opens jazz, under-12s tap or under-8s hip-hop, even Irish dancing. It really doesn't matter. When these dragons see it, they know it. At events like this, it's not even guaranteed that they will see it. The thing that matters is that they can observe the endeavour. They perch in the stands with their high heels tucked beneath their wings. Smoke drizzles from their reptilian beaks. From their individual positions they can all see it. If it was described as a picture, it would be a bluish sphere of glowing mass that hums in position above the stage. Slowly revolving, it illuminates the faces of the audience. A three-dimensional spotlight that illuminates everything that sees it. Hard to describe, but it's unmistakable. Can the performers fill the space and energy created by this spatial orb? Discipline, energy, rising to the occasion. When they're not filling it, are they engaged with the endeavour? The dragons are quite obviously dragon-like, but they can take many forms. But when you see one, you know. Some are fiery pink male dragons, some fiery blue. Some are younger and still teaching. Some are even on the stage at the Opens event, but they're not always front and centre. Some are mothers that have never danced a moment in their lives, but they still have the eye. They take many forms, but when you see these dragons, you know. Hard to describe, but it's unmistakable. Sniff, sniff. You could be forgiven for thinking that this category of dragon and the orb that they all see is not a category at all. If anything can be in it, anything can fill it, and anyone can notice it, then it mustn't really be a category. It might not be a category of its own, but when you see it, you know. Hard to describe, but it's unmistakable. The morning of and the morning after the dance event, the Dragon Lady still exists in her category. She is the caretaker employed to manicure her own hair before the event. And none of that made sense the way I read it. I'll start again. The morning of and the morning after the dance event, the Dragon Lady still exists in her category. She is the caretaker employed to manicure her hair before the event, that is breakfast. Her hair's not completely finished, but it adheres to the codes of expression and respectability. This endeavour to exist can be expressed almost anywhere. It can be while brushing your hair or entering the kitchen, on stage, off stage. It could be in the strength of the support offered to a downtrodden dancer after the performance. One way of seeing it is that the stage and its big blue orb can be taken anywhere. Making toast is not above or below the glowing orb of the stage. Graceful movements through the space called the kitchen are not above or below the orb either. Well-maintained equipment, informed discretion on toast hue, focus, refined condiment application, expression, enjoyment, all worthy pursuits that are comparable to the blue orb of the stage. Once again, it's hard to describe, but it's unmistakable. Well, I might get it done in 10 minutes. Sniff. The beauty of a well-functioning dance group is so apparent that it can be found wholly within just one of its dancers. If you take her out of the group and put her on stage by herself, will she still perform? Will she still remain beautiful? Would a breakfast be as sweet if you removed just one of its parts? The toast, the warmth of the cup, the AM radio, the movement. Each component of the whole is important, but each must consider its own decisions. Every dancer alone must make her own decisions. Dragons and coaches make decisions about which components to include in the dance, which parts to leave out. Dance is a robust pursuit. Whichever route is chosen for any given component will always lead to beauty, but these decisions are rarely made lightly. When making decisions about the singular performance of breakfast, many things can be considered. How do I feel on this very morning? What is my routine? How is the weather shaping up, and what could the timetable hold for the rest of my day? Can I throw caution to the wind? A dragon makes these decisions with indescribable manner and wisdom. They may sometimes look like they've made a mistake, a rash decision, or an unconscious thought, but rest assured, they act in accord and they are unmistakable. Sniff. So on this very morning, what component could the Dragon Lady add to the performance of her breakfast? Tea or coffee? It is only one component of the overall breakfast, but a decision is to be made. She visualizes the dance competition that will be attended later today. She won't be on stage, but the performance of her day will be complex. Tea or coffee? She can't choose both. A dragon soars through the air. Her head moves from side to side. Moving to one side could be tea, to the other, coffee. One of the choices must fall or at least evaporate from the sky as she continues her flight. Coffee? She loves coffee. She appreciates it. In the blink of her left eye, she appreciates the blend. She traces the fork in the river all the way back to the single origin. She feels the beauty in every part of the process that journeyed the coffee to her bench top. Today she chooses tea for her lips. In the moment, she spends longer and longer appreciating tea. Her head moves back and forward. Drink choice is just one choice in the dance of breakfast, but she traces this fork in the river all the way back. She finds herself not in an English breakfast, not in Assam, not in the origin that is China, but today she finds herself in Japan, sipping a carefully prepared brew. That's a long sentence. What is the flavour? It's hard to describe, but it's unmistakable. The Japanese tea ceremony has its origins in Buddhism. Every part of the process is to be appreciated, savoured, experienced. Production, equipment, company, temperature, flavour. She doesn't practice this ceremony every morning, but today it seems fitting, given that she will attend a dance ceremony later today. As she continues the process of her tea ceremony, she asks herself, what flavour for this morning? She has already chosen English breakfast. What is the flavour of English breakfast? Hard to describe, but unmistakable. She sips again. The tannins complement the honey. She sips again. Liquid complements the dryness of toast. She is still at the beginning of her consumption process. She sips again and envisages a special girl on stage. She's 8, not at the front of the group. She dances with passion and elegance while overcoming fear. The tea is beautiful, its flavour truly indescribable. Like Japanese tea, Japanese dragons are also very beautiful. The English dragons have wings which sometimes force their heads to move up and down during flight, like that, a little like a marching motion. A Japanese dragon, however, has no wings. Interestingly, it is a creature of the air, but it has no wings. To journey through the skies, its head moves left and right, up and down as it sees fit. In a single moment, it could be passing its tail on the left and a mountain on the right. The lady smiles. She is reassured that she made a worthy decision to go with Japanese tea. She knows that the dancers move left and right, up and down, and in circles. She is looking forward to the performance of today. Alright, so I'll leave it there. I'm seeking feedback as well, because this story, it's very dense. It's a bit hard to... I wrote it as best as I could that it would make sense, but it changes direction really quickly. I might have to string it out a bit more, but I'm looking for feedback. If it's digestible, let me know. If it's not, let me know. Alright, next part of the video coming up.